The Boy, the Painted Cave, Chapter 6 and 7. Chapter 6. Later that spring, Tao and Ram roamed the valley and woodlands. Mostly they hunted in the slough, where the game was plentiful and where they were not likely to be seen by Volt and the other hunters. Far to the north in the high mountains, the retreating glaciers sent down torrents of cold water to form crystal-clear lakes, rippling streams, and endless swamplands. In the icy creeks, Tao and Ram caught trout and pike. Sometimes in the distance they saw big brown bears fishing along the edges of the sandbars, slapping salmon out of the water with their great paws. When the hunting was good and they caught much game, Tao left Ram in the little cave and returned to camp with rabbits, quail, geese, and strings of salmon for Kala and the clan people. One afternoon Volt and Garth were standing in the clearing as the boy came in. Volt scratched his head with his big hairy hand, squinting. "You bring in much game," he said, "yet you say you hunt alone." Tao did not want to lie, yet he knew if he told the truth that everything he had would be taken from him, the cave, the paintings, the wolf dog, everything. He stared hard at the ground. "I hunt with no man," he said. "Then you have found a place of plenty," said Garth curiously. "If that is so, you will tell us where it is." Once again Tao hesitated. He dare not talk at the slough, but he could tell about the other places. "If you will go one day's walk to the spruce forests where the creek runs down to the big waters, there hunters will find salmon. But the brown bears are taking many. The hunters will have to hurry." Folk grunted, shook his head, and walked away with Garth behind him. Tao knew it was not easy for the big leader to ask a boy where game was to be found, yet the small band of clan hunters could not cover all the land. Please stop here and consider question number 1. Whenever Tao saw hunters in his area, he stayed in his little cave. Here, with Ram lying at his feet, he practiced his drawing, covering the walls with pictures of bear, bison, and mammoths. He was never satisfied with these, but when he made pictures of Ram, he felt his images were good. Down near the glades, a big glacier lake extended a long blue finger into the slough. It was a place of beauty, a place where Tao could always find something new and surprising, and soon it became one of his favorite haunts. Here he saw tall white cranes stalking through the reeds, jabbing for minnows and crayfish. He watched the screaming fish eagles swoop down to snatch squirming eels and perch out on the glistening waters. One day, as the lake lay streaming in the early morning sun, he and Ram walked around the marshy shoreline hunting for duck eggs. They had just come through a strand of reed grass when Tao saw an animal, the size of a large horse, feeding in the shallows. The boy drew his breath in. It was a giant deer. He had heard about such creatures, but they were rare and only a few hunters had ever seen one. Unaware of danger, the deer stood in the knee-deep water, raking up strings of water lilies. Its huge rack of antlers spread out from its head like two great hands with the palms up and sharp prongs or fingers curving inward. Tao watched as the deer came closer. He kept his hand on Ram's shoulder to hold him back. The wolf was eager to begin the chase, and Tao could feel the tension in his body. "No, Ram," he whispered. "You are no match for the great deer. In the water you would have no chance." Tao knew the big deer could not outrun the wolf, but with its massive spread of antlers it could be dangerous. Boy and wolf stood on the edge of the lake watching quietly. They were so taken up with the step of the huge animal that they failed to hear the footsteps of a stranger as he came up behind them. It was an old man, thin and gaunt, with squint creases at the corners of his deep blue eyes. His face was covered with a long, almost white beard, and he carried a long wooden spear in a deerskin bag slung over his left shoulder. He stopped a short distance away and watched them for a while. Then, as if to startle them, he coughed lightly. Ram spun around, snarling, the hair along the back of his neck bristling with anger. The big deer stopped feeding. It threw up its head and splashed away across the shallows. Still standing at the water's edge, Tao turned to face the hunter. His heart was pounding. He had broken many taboos. He walked on forbidden land, he made images on cave walls, and he hunted with a wolf dog. Now the stranger would be a witness. Tao placed his hand on Ram's shoulder and ordered him to stay. Then he limped slowly towards the man, trying to act unafraid. The old man looked down at him from under bushy eyebrows. There was no anger in his face, only a touch of mild surprise. He saw the bad foot in the air of boyish defiance. You are Tao, of the valley people, he said. You know my name? Asked Tao, startled. Yes, said the old man. I travel far to paint images in the secret caverns, and I hear much. Tao gasped. He felt a mixture of dismay and awe. The stranger standing before him was Greybeard, the cave painter, the shaman of all the clans. Never did he think he would meet such a great one. I also know you hunt on forbidden land, said Greybeard. The boy winced and shifted from one foot to the other. It is forbidden only because of the demons and evil spirits, he said, his voice crackling. And you are not afraid of demons? I have heard the wailing screams and the wild howls, but they are the cries of the eagle owl and the loons. If there are other demons, I have never seen one. The old man leaned on his spear. You also hunt with a wolf dog. That, too, is taboo in your clan. For a moment, Tao was quiet. Then he swallowed hard and said, the people of my clan are starving. The slough is full of game. With the wolf dog, I bring them much food. Greybeard nodded. You are not afraid of demons. You do not believe in evil spirits, and for you taboos melt away like the winter snows. I'm sorry, said Tao, but I do not believe these things are bad. The animals, the birds, the trees give us food and clothing, yet our leaders see only evil. Greybeard nodded. Tao was sure he saw a glint of understanding in the old man's eye. Please stop here and consider question number 2. And you know better than the leaders? Said Greybeard. No, said Tao. I only know that the slough is a place of many good things. Here I find food. I watch the animals and birds. I feel good here. Greybeard looked out across the blue lake. And now you watch the great antlered one. Yes, said Tao. I have never seen a giant deer before. There are many far to the north, near the ice country, said Greybeard. They come down this way sometimes when the snows are bad. Ram was standing behind Tao, half snarl still curled on his lips. The old man looked at the wolf, unafraid. How long have you hunted with the wolf dog? Tao stopped to think. Since the end of the snows. And by what name do you call him? I call him Ram. The old man smiled. You think it is good to have a wolf dog? Asked Tao. Yes, said Greybeard. They help much with the hunting and they protect the camp at night. Our leader Volt hates the wolf dogs, said Tao. He believes they are a curse of evil and he will have none of them. I know your leader well, said Greybeard. He is a good man, but too often he dreams of spirits and demons. Tao came a step closer, whispering, I have told no one about Ram. I will say nothing, said Greybeard. I come only to paint in the secret cavern. Whew! Tao felt a wave of relief. He knew Greybeard would keep his word. The herds are coming back, said the old man, nodding. They will be here when the fields are green with new grass. I have come from the other camps with the news. Now I will paint images of the great beasts in the secret caverns to bring good hunting. Tao wished to hear more about the image-making and painting, but he saw the old man was tired. Will you come and share food with us? Asked Tao. We have a small cave on the other side of the valley. Greybeard leaned against the trunk of a birch tree. His spear rested in the crook of his arm as he rubbed his eyes with the back of his hands. Yes, he said. It will be good rest. Please stop here and answer questions 3 and 4. Chapter 7. They walked slowly, making their way through the uncoiling ferns and budding buckthorn trees. On the way, Tao had many questions. Other clans have kept wolf dogs, he said. Why does Volt hate them so much? The old man stopped to catch his breath, coughing slightly. Have you seen Volt's face? He asked. Have you seen the scars and the look of meanness? Tao frowned. This was done by a wolf dog? Volt thinks so, said Greybeard. He was only a child, but his father said it was so. I do not think a wolf dog would do that, said Tao. Nor do I, said the old man. There were many hyenas at the time, but his father believed in demons and said it was the curse of a wolf. Volt will not say otherwise. That is why this place is forbidden. You mean it happened in the slough? Yes, said Greybeard. Volt was here with his mother gathering berries. Some beasts attacked them, and Volt was badly clawed. His mother was killed. So this place became a place of evil. Now others hear the wild cries and wailing and think of demons. Please stop here and answer question number 5. When Tao and the old man came to the open valley, the boy looked around slowly. Yes, said Greybeard, it is well to keep the wolf dog out of sight. Tao agreed, then added, but if Volt could see how well Ram hunts, maybe he would change his mind. The old man shrugged. Volt only knows the world of evil spirits. Unless there is some omen or sign, I do not think he will change his mind. You know much about clan people, said Tao. For 20 summers now I have gone from clan to clan, painting in the caves, bringing news and helping them when they are sick. He stopped for a moment, running a knotted hand through his beard. I have seen many young boys grow up to become hunters, and young women become mothers. Tao's heart leapt. A ray of hope sparked in his eyes. You knew my mother? My father? Greybeard shook his head. No. I only know that your mother died shortly after you were born and that you were raised by Kala. Then you know Kala? The old man hummed softly, then said, yes, we grew up together, but that was many summers ago, before you were born and before I became a shaman. Then you were also of the valley people. Once. I left before my 16th summer. Now I am of all the clans. Please stop here and answer question number 6. When they reached the foot of the hills, they began to climb. They went slowly, for the old man stopped to rest many times. At the entrance to the little cave, the boy stepped aside to let the old one go in first. As soon as his eyes became adjusted to the dim light, Greybeard saw the drawings on the wall. He saw the sketches of the wolf dog, the charcoal drawings of the cave bear, the owl, and the salmon. He stood there for a long time, looking from one to another. Then he saw the clay chalk and the charcoal sticks lying on the floor. Tao waited tensely. This man was the master. His words would mean much. He bit his lip and took a deep breath as he waited for the old man to speak. Greybeard turned slowly. You did these? Yes, said Tao, his chest swelling with pride. The old man looked at the drawings once again, measuring them with his eye. Then he rubbed his hand over them lightly and blew the chalk from his fingers. Who showed you how to do this? No one, said Tao. I taught myself. The old man nodded. He studied the pictures again, running his long, bony fingers over the lines, following the curves of the drawings, all the while mumbling to himself. Then he stepped back. His wrinkled face changed into an angry frown. With both hands he leaned down and picked up fistfuls of dirt and soot from the cave floor. He rubbed them across the wall, smearing them over the drawings, covering them up. Tao staggered backward in shocked surprise, disappointed and hurt showing in his face. They are not good? He asked. Greybeard was breathing hard, trying to control a fit of coughing. Young fool, he cried. Do you not know better than to make images or signs where they might be seen? Tao was numb. He could no longer think. Then they are not good? He asked again. The old man shook his head, his eyes flashing with displeasure. It does not matter, he said. Good or bad, you are not a chosen one. They can kill you for this. Please stop here and answer question 7. Tao's fists were clenched tight at his sides. Tears filled his eyes and he spoke in a choked voice. I do not care, he said. It is only that I would like to be an image maker. I have thought about it for a long time. Even when I sleep, I dream of it. I wish to be a cave painter, as you are. The old man looked down at him, anger still flashing in his eyes. It is taboo, he said harshly. Whether you believe in it or not makes no difference. It is taboo. It is the law of the clans, and you must live by it. Please stop here and answer question 8.